everyone, welcome to this week's episode. Today, we're going to be doing the high altitude adjustment for the Webasto heater.
This episode is inspired by Van Life Sagas. Their episode last weekend made me realize we needed to get this adjustment completed ASAP. If you haven't, check out their amazing channel linked in the top right corner.
One of the things you need to have is the rheostat controller. Within the wiring harness, you have to find the place that has a testing cable. Depending on where you got your heater, they can be different. I actually bought my heater off of Heatso, so there is only one connector right near the heater, and it is, from what I found online, the place to be able to do this connection. If you purchased an American heater, they usually suggest that you should get it done professionally because the CO2 readout is done with a machine that can connect right into the wiring harness. But the Webasto website actually has, the Webasto Tech website actually has a little rundown of how you can do it yourself. First up, this is the little connector piece that we will be grounding to be able to do this high altitude adjustment. So you will want to ground the brown wire that is on this. Inside, you can see little metal tabs that usually has like a connector that goes to it. Like I said, there are different diagnostic tools, and there is actually, a connector that connects to this. But for the purposes I am doing, I took a spade connector and just cut off pieces of it to make it fit. And it actually, when you put it in here, connects nice and firm. So in the procedure, you ground the ground wire to your battery, chassis, however, whatever it is that you're going to use. I'm just going to use the ground wire that I have connected to my fuse box. And then in the process, you remove this ground to set the heater to the high altitude setting. For the opposite side of this wire, I'm just leaving a big piece, and I am going to just electrical tape it right to the chassis wire that I have here. So I'm just going to tape that on there so that it won't remove as we're doing this process. Now that we've grounded the wire from the connection piece, we go ahead and grab our remote and turn it to the 12 o'clock position. Think of it as a hand of a clock. A 12 o'clock position or a 1 o'clock position for higher altitudes. They say closer to 10,000 feet. So if you know that you're going to be in the mountains at higher altitude at 10,000 feet or something, you might want to push it to that 1 o'clock position. I will probably put it right in between there. So then we'll go ahead and turn this on there. It should fire up the heater. And after a few minutes, this should start blinking. The heater turns on like normal. You can hear my fuel pump starting to push fuel into the heater. Now the heater is turning on. You can hear that the combustion is starting. So the remote started blinking. It's been about 3 minutes since I started. So now the process is to move it to the 9 p.m. or 8 p.m. if you want it for a little bit higher altitude. So we'll go ahead and move it down in between that. So then you go ahead and leave it here for 3 minutes. I'll set a timer on my phone to make sure that we keep it for about that. So it's been 3 minutes. So now you go ahead, take and unground this wire. So you take that out and The remote has now stopped flashing. It was flashing that whole entire time. And that should be setting it to the new altitude. So I'm going to go ahead and give it 10 minutes, which is what is recommended, to let the heater continue to run. It's dinner time for the dogs. So the high altitude adjustment should be complete. The only way to know if it worked 100% is to have the combusted gas tested at a Webasto dealer, at a certified dealer. I mean, they would have the analyzing tools to be able to do that. So we are just gonna cross our fingers and hope that that's it worked. I've read plenty of forums and different articles online that make it seem like this is more than legitimate to do. When we do go to the mountains, which is something that we love to do, this will allow it so that at the higher elevations we are not building up the carbon buildup in the heater, which could shut it down outright. I don't know if you follow vanlife sagas. They actually just put in an S-bar heater because they had issues with the Webasto at 7,000 feet, I believe it was. This is one of those things that hopefully will change the way the machine works so that it won't have that problem. I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it was a short one. If you did, go ahead and hit that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit that bell to be notified as we post new content. Lots more coming your way if the mailman finally brings stuff here. But we'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.